Good morning, folks. This is Mike Usina here of Lenorcan Magic Handmade Cast Nets here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. I wanted to do this video. I'm just going to cover some stuff that I already have, but there's so many people that get interested, or fishermen that buy nets, and they have no idea of how these nets were originally made for many years. Before 1952 in the U.S., all webbing was made by hand. I've told you that story, but I've been tasked here recently with the Florida State Park Service. They've got they're rebuilding an old fort in St. Augustine here. It's called Fort Mose. It was a black fort back in 1730s, 1750s. Slaves were allowed to, if they could make it here, they were given refuge here in St. Augustine. They had a couple of things they had to fulfill, and one of them was to join the militia, become Catholics, and that was it. So they built a fort out the north end of town, and they defended the city from the north. Have you ever heard about history of St. Augustine? It was sacked 3 times, but mostly from pirates that come in off the ocean. But I think it was Oglethorpe that tried to attack. Governor of Georgia tried to attack St. Augustine from the north, and then those militiamen out there at Fort Mose kicked his butt. So, but anyhow, enough of that. I want to talk to you about the Florida Park Service. Wanted me to try to duplicate a net that would have been material for that time period, and it definitely would have been linen or cotton. Both of them were available, but linen is too much of a pain in the back to find it. The last linen that I had, I made a net for a good friend that does. She's a college professor. She does history on our Menorcan culture, gives talks and all. And she wanted me. I made her a net out of linen. And I said, I don't mind making it for you, but I don't know where the heck we're going to find linen. So she got to digging around and got it from Egypt, because linen is made from the flax plant. We know that. So anyhow, I made her a net out of linen. She tickled to death with it. So these folks, I talked to him about the linen, but he just said, well, what, is there anything else that's close by? I said, well, cotton. So that's what we got. Been tasked to make a replica of a mullet net from that time period, 1730, 1750, and later, of course. But they're pretty much made the same way up into the, when I started in this stuff, when I first learned how to make cast nets from my father, it was in the, I don't know, 49 or 50, I guess it was. And that's all that was available, was cotton. And I can remember making the cotton nets, and that's what this is. This is a cotton net. I mean, and it's, I tried to duplicate. I got the sinkers I put on this thing are probably 80, 90 years old. Got them off the old nets that people donated to me. And the cow horn, I don't know if you can see that, but it's full of wormholes. But it's old now. I guarantee that's probably from the 20s or 30s. I would guess on that. So I used stuff that I'd, gathered up my home. Instead of throwing it away, I just kept it. And I'm glad I did, because I used it on this net. And this net is made of cotton. Now, and I'll be complete. The only thing on this net that isn't cotton are the sinkers and the horn. The hand line, the lead line, the webbing, the braille, everything is cotton. So that's about as best I can do. But anyway, getting back to my original story about the old days, and people you know, and I've told you this before, that I encounter people often that I just sold I just sent a net to a guy in Minnesota. And I asked him, I know he was, what do you tell me? He was 75? Anyway, he'd never seen a handmade net. He never saw a handmade net till he got to looking on YouTube. And I got, a bunch of videos on there. And he said he's looked at every one of them. And he'd been looking and watching. And finally, he said, I got to have me one of them nets. So I just made him a net and shipped it to him. He is a borderline colorful character. But anyhow, cotton was available, but you can't buy good quality cotton anymore for making nets. I mean, you can buy all the cotton you want. I mean, this stuff here, I think is made for packaging, wrapping. A butcher uses it for wrapping meat in a package, I guess. I don't know, maybe flying a kite, but anyway. But it worked. I mean, one thing about cotton now, cotton, it ties a tight knot. It's worse than Dacron on far references untying a knot. If you make a mistake, you just about got to patch it. Fortunately, I'm beyond that, so I don't have any trouble with that. But the issue is, it's a bear to work with. You got to take it easy. I only had this break on me twice. I can remember back when I first started making these things, I had trouble with the cord would break when you pulling that needle. You couldn't pull it as tight as you did with nylon because it'd pop. It's not very strong. Also, these cotton nets, I can remember the first net I had, of course, I couldn't have been, oh my goodness, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old, and I can remember the first time I caught a mullet, I was tickled to death. But then, and it wasn't too long after that, I made another net, and I can remember throwing that thing over. A school of roe mullet come by, and I throwed that thing over them, and holy cow, you've been 4 and 5 pound mullet would hit that thing and go right through it. Cotton not that strong, especially if you had a mesh they could get their nose in, forget it, they was going through it. But anyway, but that's what this is. This is a cotton. But I just wanted to show you because I noticed people that's going to look at this video going to think, what the hell is that? But they're used to just going to a bait and tackle shop or Walmart's or someplace online. Tons of people online selling nets. Chinese are famous for it. For goodness sake, I've told you this before, I'm going to tell you again, don't buy a net made in China. They're absolute junk. And you may or may not get it. If you buy something from China, our youngest son, he bought a barbecue grill from China and he never got it. Or did he? But Andy, did he ever get it? He never got it. He got his money back, but he never got the barbecue grill. But anyway, so be cautious with that. And anyway, I hope everybody had a marvelous holiday. Here we are, 1st of February already. Today's the 1st, right? And so it'll soon be time for be thinking about a net. I've got a 6-foot bait net over there that's available if anybody's interested in it. And but anyway, you know how to get in touch with me. I don't know. I don't want to bore you too much with this stuff. It's pretty well. I covered everything. That's cotton. Net is made out of cotton, and fortunately, it'll never be used. It's going to be hanging on a wall, showing what life was. Somewhat what life was in that time period, but anyway, I guess if you want to contact me, you add email address is Menorca Magic, MENORCANMAGIC at gmail.com. Phone number here is 904-217-7974. I'd like to hear from you. If you're learning how to make a net, you've got any questions, I can answer any question you're going to have pertaining to making a cast net, where to find the stuff you need. I can give you all that information. And but anyway, for goodness sake, take care of yourself until the next time. Did I miss anything, Andy? Did I cover everything that I need to cover? With that said, till the next time, take care of yourself.